All right, let's talk about something that I'm sure hits home for a lot of you. Have you ever had what you thought was a killer trading strategy, but your results were just all over the place? Super frustrating, right? Well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to crack open Mark Douglas's legendary book, Trading in the Zone, because it holds the key. We're going to uncover the psychological secrets that make the absolute best traders, well, the best. Let's dive in. So let's kick things off with the million-dollar question, the one that probably keeps you up at night. Why is it that something like 95% of traders fail? I mean, think about it. We've got more information, more charts, more strategies than ever before. So what's going on? Why can't most people make consistent money? And the answer is, well, it's probably not what you think. It's almost never about the strategy. Wild, right? It's not some faulty indicator, it's not a bad system. Look, one of the top traders on the planet could literally hand you their exact, proven strategy on a silver platter, and chances are you'd still lose money with it. So what gives? The real fight, the real battle, it's not with the market. It's the war going on right between your own two ears. Okay, so if it's not about chasing some holy grail strategy, then what is the problem? Well, it all comes down to this constant mental tug of war that's happening inside our heads every time we look at a chart.
Okay, check this out, because this slide really breaks it down. We've got two columns, two completely different worlds. On the left, that's the typical trader. And be honest, does this sound like you? The focus is all on being right. The goal is to predict the future. And what does that lead to? Fear, pain, and just inconsistent emotional results. Now look over to the right. This is the elite trader. Notice the difference? Their focus isn't on being right, it's on executing their edge. They're not predicting, they're thinking in probabilities. And they completely 100% accept the risk. The result? Calm, objective, and most importantly, consistent trading.
So the big question is, how do you get from that left column to the right one? How do you make that jump? It's going to take a huge shift in how you see everything, a total paradigm shift. You've got to start thinking like a gambler at the table and start thinking like the one who owns the whole building. You've got to start thinking like the casino. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the entire book. It's the probabilistic mindset. Think about it. Does the casino have any clue whether the next roulette spin is going to land on red or black? Nope. And you know what? They couldn't care less. Why? Because they know that over thousands and thousands of spins, their tiny little statistical edge is going to make them a fortune. That's the mindset. You have to accept that your very next trade is basically a random outcome. But you also have to have unshakable confidence that over your next 100 or 200 trades, your edge will play out and you'll come out ahead. And this table just drives the point home perfectly. Let's say this is a sample of 20 trades from a system that wins 60% of the time. That's a great edge. But just look at the sequence. You've got a loss, then 2 losses in a row here, another 2 right there. If your mind is stuck on, I have to be right on this trade, what happens after 3 or 4 losses? You start freaking out. You think the system is broken. But the trader with the casino mindset, they just look at this and go, yep, that looks about right. They understand that even with a winning edge, the wins and losses show up randomly. It's just part of the game. All right, so how do we actually do this? How do we make this mindset our default setting? We need a new rulebook. And Mark Douglas gives us exactly that. He calls them the 5 fundamental truths of trading. Think of these as the new operating system for your trading brain. Now, you can't just read these and nod along. You have to burn them into your brain until you believe them in your bones. So number 1, anything can happen. Literally anything. Number 2, you do not need to know what's going to happen next to make money. Let that one sink in. 3, wins and losses are randomly distributed over the short term. We just saw that. 4, an edge is simply a higher probability of one thing happening over another. That's it. It is not a guarantee for any single trade. And finally, number 5, every single moment in the market is unique. The pattern you see now has never happened before in the exact same context. Internalizing these 5 truths is, well, it's everything. Okay, so believing those 5 truths, that's a massive step forward. Huge. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. To really, truly trade without fear and finally achieve that consistency we're all after, you have to master one last, absolutely critical concept.
And this quote from Mark Douglas says it all. When you've accepted the risk, you will be at peace with any outcome. I mean, just read that again. The entire game of trading psychology, all those books, all that stress, it really just boils down to this one thing. Think about every mistake you make. Hesitating and missing a trade? That's fear. Jumping in too early? Fear of missing out. Cutting your winners short? Fear of it turning against you. And the only way to get rid of that fear is to genuinely accept the risk before you even think about placing the trade.
So, what does it actually feel like to truly accept the risk? Well, it looks like this. You predefine your risk on every single trade, and you are 100% at peace with losing that amount. It's just a business expense. When your signal shows up, you just act. No hesitation, no second guessing. You're not sitting there hoping or praying or making deals with the universe. And if the trade loses, there's no regret. You completely get that the outcome of any one trade is totally out of your control. The emotional pain of losing, it's just gone because you already accepted it could happen from the very start.
And when you finally put it all together, that casino mindset plus a complete, genuine acceptance of the risk, something incredible happens. You unlock a state of peak performance that athletes talk about all the time. This is what Mark Douglas calls trading in the zone. And this is the payoff. This is why you do all that hard mental work. When you're in the zone, trading actually becomes effortless. It can even be fun. You start to see the market clearly for what it really is, just a flow of opportunities, without all the emotional filters of fear and greed clouding your judgment. You act without thinking twice. You're completely focused on the here and now. There's no fear, there's no crazy euphoria when you win. There's just calm, focused execution. So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? It's that the journey to becoming a consistently profitable trader has almost nothing to do with getting better at predicting the market. It's a 100% internal journey of mastering your own mind. So, the real secret to trading in the zone, the real question is, are you ready to stop trying to manage the market and start, finally, managing yourself?